Our last question in this recording series. Why do insurance companies ask for emergency contact information? I think I've done about 60 videos at this point. I don't think I've said this one before. I don't know. I can't find an answer to that question. Actually, it's a good question. I should see if I can find an answer for. But I don't know the answer to this one. But here's what's going on. I can tell you about the usefulness of the information, though, to me, and I do want to do that. So, and this has been going on since day one, since the very first Medicare Advantage application I've ever done, and the very first Medicare prescription drug plan application I've ever done. The first prescription drug application I ever did was back in the end of 2005 when it first started. So these have been around since day one. On the application, there are certain things that are always asked for. Name, address, phone number. Email's kind of a new thing. Wasn't there on all the applications originally. Your Medicare information. Prescription drug plans used to ask about end-stage renal disease, but now they're not required to, so most of them don't. They ask if there's a coordination of benefits for work or other kind of insurance. They're going to ask about coordination of benefits for other kind of federal health care that has prescription drug coverage. And then they're going to have a bunch of disclaimers. But there's also going to be 2 lines, usually on the first page, about emergency contact information. They want to know if you have an emergency contact, basically. And it can be anyone. On the electronic forms, they usually give a selection, and on paper you can pretty much put down whatever. And I've put down almost any kind of relation. I've put down brother-in-law, I've put down friend, sister, daughter, son, spouse, all that. But all they ask for is a name, phone number, and their relationship to you. And there can be no relationship whatsoever. It could just be friend. But I don't know why. As far as I know, an insurance company has never actually contacted an emergency contact. They do not call an emergency contact if the plan is in danger of lapsing, if there's a premium issue. They do not call an emergency contact if there's a denial of claim or they need to get a hold of you or something. They do not they will call the authorized representative if the authorized representative filled out the form or there's permission given for that authorized representative. The paperwork got through to the company, the power of attorney paperwork, anything like that. All that stuff will get done. But just pure emergency contact, I am not aware, in over 10 years of this, going on 20 years of this, I am not aware of any insurance company actually contacting the emergency contact. So the direct answer to the question, why is there an emergency contact on the application, I don't know. I am also unaware of Medicare contacting an let me rephrase this, because I do know of a circumstance where Medicare contacted an emergency contact for something. But it was unrelated to the information from a prescription drug plan application or a Medicare Advantage application. This person actually had emergency contact information with Medicare for another circumstance unrelated, and had given the Medicare beneficiary had given Medicare clear instructions to contact this person. So that's the one and only time, and when I say one time, I mean uno, singular time, that I've actually heard of Medicare contacting an emergency contact. But that was not from information related to what was disclosed on a prescription drug plan application or Medicare Advantage plan application. It was a special circumstance. So what I've seen had nothing to do with that. Now, the information, the request for emergency contact is optional, and it doesn't need to be filled out. You can get your application processed just fine without without Medicare's emergency contact information, or without your emergency contact information being given. Your application is not in danger of not being processed, and the insurance company will not call you requesting it if you choose not to give it. So it's an entirely optional piece of information. But as for why it's there, no idea. Now, we have used that information. That has actually been incredibly important and incredibly valuable. Sometimes clients move. We do call our clients every year during the annual enrollment period to, check their drugs, check the Advantage plans. Basically, we call not to sell new insurance, but we call our clients back to make sure that the insurance will be appropriate next year when it changes. And like this past year, man, there were a whole lot of people that would have been in inappropriate plans if we did not move them. More so, I think, than any other year. We just had so many people that needed to move, so a lot of things changed. That being said, clients don't always tell us when they move, and insurance companies don't always give us notifications of when they move. So if we can't get a hold of a client, first thing we're going to do is send you a postcard saying, hey, we're trying to get a hold of you. Call us. About 50 to 75% of the time, that gets a hold of everybody. They dropped their home number and never gave us a cell number. Their cell number changed. I had one person, they can't access their cell phone, and that's their only reliable means of call. And so they got a burner phone until they get their phone fixed. I don't know. But they're still there. They're still at the house they're always at. So we sent them a card. They called us. Now, we get a few cards back. If we get a few and they come back, no such person is at this address, undeliverable, or no longer at this address, forwarding information expired. So we're out of luck with the mail. So we've got to have some other way of getting hold of the person. So the only other way we have, the only other means, is to take a look at their prescription drug plan application or Medicare Advantage application and look for an emergency contact. We have gotten a hold of clients that needed to make a move by getting a hold of their sons, their daughters, the next door neighbor that they trusted at the time, and they helped us get a hold of them. Anything that we're able to do to get a hold of our clients, we're going to try to do. And we found some of them died and we didn't know about it that year. A couple of them moved out of state, in which case we helped connect them to another insurance agent. But that's how we've used that information. That's the only time we've used that information, is to see if we can get a hold of someone. Which is why, if you are filling out an emergency contact form on the application, it's a good idea not to use a spouse, just so that we have somebody else we can get a hold of if that's necessary. I am not sure if that is the reason that question has existed on the application since those applications first came into existence. If there's another reason for them, I would actually like to know. If someone would either shoot me an email or put a comment in the video as to why it is, I'd love to know the answer to it. It is not a prospecting tool. That is patently illegal. That is an illegal activity. We don't use it for that. I'm sure some enterprising person has tried to do it at one point, but you can't do that. That's against the rules. We've got no desire, we've got no time to do things like that either. But we do use that information. It is relevant, it is important if we can't get a hold of you. But that's the only reason that I can think of, and it's something on us. It's not something for the insurance company would most likely do, because the insurance company is not going to call you up and try to ask you if their plan is appropriate for the next year. That's not their job. Their job is to keep you in their plan and make sure that they pay what they say they're going to pay. So I don't know of another reason, but that's the reason that we use, and I hope that's right. That's all I got on it, I'm afraid. Anything else? Please leave a comment on here and be sure to like us on Facebook, share us on Facebook, tell your friends about us, and we will see you next time with the next series of videos. Thank you for watching.